guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back at one of my favorite parking lot locations because guess what? This is actually a first time review of this particular vehicle of any type here on Raiti's Rides. This is it. This is the new 2022 Polestar. Our particular one is the dual motor long range performance model. But before we get into this sportback design, yes, it does have a hatchback style. Let's talk about what's going on here. Polestar. They are a subsidiary of Volvo. We have featured some Volvo products here on Raiti's Rides, really built a name for themselves, all about safety. What's interesting is that Polestar used to really be their performance motorsports branch. And then because of the industry moving towards electrification, Volvo saw an opportunity to create Polestar as being their electrification lead into the market. Now, the Polestar comes in many different forms. This particular one is a dual motor setup. You could get a single motor setup if that's what you want to do with your electrification, or you could even go for an ultra high performance example. One thing is for certain, you don't have to go Tesla if you want an electrified vehicle. There's other luxury vehicles out there like this Polestar, bring in the style, bring in the luxury touches inside, but also bring in some performance. So what I want to find out is this the best luxury electric vehicle to buy? Is it better than the Tesla Model 3? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Polestar and find out. Right off the bat, very unique styling, really separates it from the rest of the pack. And really, you could see the Volvo connection there, especially at the front of the business. What you're gonna get is Thor's hammer, that way of them signifying their design with their LED daytime running lamp and turn signal. You see the hammer there, Thor's hammer, get it? And then you're gonna get a multi-LED beam setup up top and then a projector beam on the bottom portion. That is adaptive. So what that means is it's actually gonna move with the steering. Now working your way down, there is some gloss black, but the good news is instead of being a fake vent, they actually put some LED fog lamps in there. Now there is a little bit of flat black along the bottom. The gloss black gets pinched down until you meet the grille area, but the good news is no fake vents on the side. Now coming across the front grille, Polestar uses a very intricate design. These flat black squares with a little bit of gloss black in the vertical slots. You do have a forward facing camera. I like the nice aluminum style finish that they put. And then there's a little bit more of that gloss black that came from the sides into the front grille area. And then of course you're gonna get this flat black splitter to help with aerodynamics. Very, very low coefficient of drag. And that's important because drag is gonna take away range. And with this, they really wanna maximize the range. Now you do have a liquid cooled lithium ion battery. And because this is the long range dual motor, we have all wheel drive, a motor up front and a motor out in the back. Now, when we get up onto the low slung hood, I like the way they did the indentations on both sides. Just enough style to separate it from Tesla for sure, and from the other brands that are European that are moving towards electrification, like BMW with the iX and the i4. Now, coming around the bend, what do we have? Wheel and tire setup. You're gonna get these 19-inch wheels. Simple design, but like I said, you can see the Volvo connection in there. Machine aluminum, gloss black. There's your Polestar badge that we saw on the front of the vehicle. There it is on the center caps. You do have regenerative braking. And if you go with the full super performance version, you will get massive Brembo calipers. Now, the one thing I am gonna zonk is I'm not digging the flat black around the fender treatment. I think at this level of vehicle, and being a Polestar, it should be all color matched, but I do like the indentation that they put at the top of the fender to really give it that extra element of style. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tires on this thing? 245 on the width and a 45 series sidewall. And like I said, we have all-wheel drive because we got the dual motor setup. Now, coming down the side, you're gonna get color matched on the side mirrors. We have the LED turn signals, and then I like the way that they blacked out the A-pillars, and then instead of having a panoramic sunroof per se, we just have a whole glass roof. Really like the way, just total glass, everything else looking slick. We got color match on the door handles, And then you'll see they put a little bit of a designator. This is a Polestar 2 battery electric vehicle. It even tells you the kilowatts and everything of the setup on here. Now this lower indentation looks great, gives it that extra element of style. A little bit of flat black along the sill. And like I said, I wish that was full, just body color match. Gloss black around the window treatment, and I'm digging the shape of the windows. Notice how low the side glass is, but how elongated it is. Very, very unique style. Coming towards the rear, you got your charge port door, easy to get to. You just plug it right in there, and that's gonna charge your Polestar 2. And then closing it up, 1, 2, 3, working your way towards the back. This is that lift back, sport back, hatchback design. So instead of there just being a regular trunk, this whole portion is gonna raise up. Love the way they did the taillights. The LED, not only turn signals, but the taillights and everything kind of wraps around to the other side. There's our Polestar badge looking good. And then going all the way down, they do put a little bit of aluminum finish like we saw on the grill to kind of balance it out. There's just too much flat black on this vehicle. A lot of flat black on the lower portion, but other than that, this top portion of the trunk, that hatchback area, looks fan-freaking-tastic. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower numbers on this Polestar 2. All right, guys, we got the hood open. You do have a little cubby area. You can put the charging cord up here if you choose to do so, or this would be a perfect place. You could literally put 4 to 6 boxes of Twinkies up here. You got your jack, and then you actually remove this to showcase your electric air pump and the goo in case you have a flat. So there's no spare on board this Polestar 2. But let's talk about what is on board. And what you're gonna find underneath all that sheet metal is, like I said, 2 motors. You're looking at 2 electric motors combined, producing 408 horsepower, 487 pound-feet of torque, with a direct drive transmission, 0 to 60 in about 4.4 seconds. Quarter mile is going to zoom by at 12.7 seconds, and you got a top speed of 127 miles per hour. The range with the dual motor setup is 249 miles. The vehicle weighs 4,700 pounds. If you want a single rear wheel motor, that is going to be front wheel drive, and it's going to give you over 300 miles of range. Now, the great news is you have a multi-link rear suspension out back. And then, of course, charging. Charging time, if you're using AC, is going to be 8 hours. If you're using a DC fast charger, in 33 minutes, you could go from 10% battery life to 80% battery life. But definitely nice to have the variety in either going single motor, dual motor, or even going high performance. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's check out the interior and see how this Volvo, or should I say Polestar, stacks up against the Tesla. All right, guys, we're inside this Polestar 2, new for 2022, dual motors. First time we're bringing a Polestar on Raiti's Rides, and a lot of you have asked for it, so I'm glad to finally bring it to you. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this Polestar has my curiosity, it has my interest. I think it may have my wallet because I'm really digging it, especially over the Teslas. How much is it though? So this particular one, the way that it's optioned, has an MSRP of $57,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, you're gonna notice nice, smooth touch material. I like the soft touch up top. The darker gray looks great besides black. And if you're wondering, well, what is that material? It's actually called Weave Tech. It's almost like a wetsuit material. Easy to keep clean. You got your speaker grill cover there in the center. And then down below, you got a good sized pocket, easily for 2 smoothies and a glass of carrot juice as well to really cleanse the body. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same story. We got soft touch material. I like the way they have the speaker grill style material on the center here. Some dark open pore wood, a little bit of gloss black, but they did a great job styling the AC vents on the corners. And then what do you get when you get to the center stack? First of all, we got our center speaker up top. That's a Harman Kardon system. And then what's really bizarre is they got AC vents up top pointing towards the windshield, which actually work once you direct them towards you. This is our 11.2-inch vertical screen setup in here. You got Google Maps, all touchscreen capability, no actual physical buttons. Now, let me show you some of the features. You got full high-resolution cameras. We pull up 360, you could actually click on whatever area you want to highlight to make sure you're not going to scratch your brand new Polestar when you're parking it. And then it's easy to get right back. We could go into car settings. Now, what's kind of a zonk is they showed the high-performance Polestar. I wish that we had that one right now, but I'm sure that we'll get it eventually. In the drive settings, you could actually adjust the level of steering feel, whether you want light, standard, or firm. You could go into sport mode. Also do the one pedal drive. And what's nice is that they have a low setting and a standard setting for that one pedal drive. That's when you release the throttle and the brakes are automatically applied. You got your creep feature. No, not for you to be a creep, but for when you're sitting in traffic. We could go into all the different assistants here. The way that each of this piece of technology assists you, you could shut it off and turn on. What I like is they actually put physical pictures to let you know what each of these aids are as you're turning them on and off. Charge, you can see how much charge you have. And and then you could also, when you're charging, you could adjust how full you want it to go. Let's say you're in a rush and you only want to get 10 more percent, put it on 70, put it on 90, or you could keep it on full 100. And you go into more, and we got more things like car status, no warning, all is good. Thank you, Polestar, I appreciate that. And you go right back to where you started. Tons of icons, all, like I said, contained within the infotainment system. And then we'll go ahead and pull the maps back up. AC, same story. You're going to do everything on the screen. So it is a little cumbersome to use at first, but then it's not so bad. We got heated seats, but no ventilated seats. So that is a zonk, but we do have a heated steering wheel, which is great. And like I said, to get to where you're going, it's real simple. And then the maps are back. Working your way down, we do have wireless charging, which is great. This is going to be your actual knob for radio control. So at least they give you that. And then this is going to be the electric shifter for the direct drive transmission. Look at how it has the Polestar logo lit up. Just a little bit of gloss black, but you really shouldn't be touching that because of the high edges. We have a single cup holder, and within that cup holder is your key fob. All black with the buttons. There you go, easy to use. You got more of that Weave Tech material. Open this guy up. Another cup holder so you can put your Super Slurpee. Say you don't want to go healthy and go with a Jamba Juice. You could go with a Super Slurpee, and then the seats. This material is really durable, this Weave Tech. Very comfortable, and it looks super sporty. Of course, you're going to have electric assist for the passenger. I have electric assist for the driver. You even have, of course, the front hammies. And we got, look at this, a banana holder on the side for when you want to get that extra potassium. If you don't like bananas, you could eat your broccoli. I'd rather go bananas because broccoli's not my fave. And then our full glass roof. Now, the one thing about this is that there's no shade for it. So I'm curious on a hot summer Florida day, what's it going to feel like in here? Am I going to feel like I'm sitting in a microwave? But come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind this leather-wrapped steering wheel. And I got a nice digital gauge instrumentation cluster I want to show you. Come on over. Guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have a simple sill plate that looks really clean with the Polestar badge to let you know what vehicle you bought each and every time you get in. Nice seat controls, 2 memory seat settings, which are great, so you can let somebody borrow your Polestar. I'm going to move this back a little bit and kind of out of the way. Steering wheel, perfect thickness. You do have gloss black switchgear on the steering wheel. Horn button, I wish they would do something a little bit more. It's a little bland here, but I do like the way they have the Polestar badge. There's a little bit more gloss black. It is manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then dash. You're going to get that nice clear digital display. There's your Google Maps there. It lets you know your range, your power, your charge, and then watch this. You hit the button, and now it makes the map go away, and you have your clear instrumentation. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Like the way they have that easy setup there. Other than that, everything else feels very car-esque in here, and I like that. Because like in the Tesla, everything is in the infotainment system. I don't like that. In here, it makes a lot more sense. But why don't we get into the back seat and see how your passengers are going to enjoy the room in this Polestar 2. All right, guys, backseat time. It's really interesting because the door panels come up kind of high. Because remember how I showed you how the glass was kind of short, but it was elongated? But because of the glass roof in here, it really feels a lot more open and spacious than what it really is. So that's really interesting. You got that weave tech material, very durable, a little bit of plastic, but the good news is you do have pockets. Now the bad news is it is the cargo net, but you could easily put at least 4 pieces of naan bread back there. We do have your AC vents, and I like the way that they designed them to mimic what's up front. We also have 2 USB-Cs and heated seats. The material is soft, and then to really wrap things up, you got a nice supersized armrest. Can easily put 2 cups of hummus in here and a couple crackers to really just enjoy that hummus, maybe some carrot sticks. But you know what? We proved that there's space in the back seat of this Polestar 2. Let's go check out the cargo area and see what we could haul in our electrified Polestar. Guys, time to get in the back of the Polestar. I'm going to go ahead and push the button. You can see how you have that hatchback, sportback design, and that's going to really free you up for a ton of room in the back seat area. There is a 12 volt. You have a pass-through, and the seats will do a 60-40 split, which is great. Plus, you got plenty of room, and you're going to have that versatility of having that lift back design. But you know what? It's about that time. I'm ready. Are you ready to find out what this Polestar is all about? Let's go on throttle in our Polestar 2. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Polestar 2 dual motor with a little over 400 horsepower. Now, what I did was I went ahead and put it into sport mode. I have steering feel on firm. I like a heavier style feel. And then for one pedal drive, I have the regenerative braking on low. There is standard. I wanted to try low because I don't want too much braking done by the car. I want to be able to do the braking. But from a dead stop, we're going to go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Wow. Here we go. So this is what an electric vehicle is all about, is that instant torque, instant power. This thing handles really well with having that battery nice and low in the chassis. Brakes feel good. Nice and balanced. Super whisper quiet, that's for sure. Nice, look at this. Wow. So let's talk about what's going on here. Really felt planted. Having the all-wheel drive with the 2 motors, I really think is the way to go, because you're gonna get that planted feel no matter what the surface is doing. Getting to that little over 11-inch infotainment system screen is really easy. As you can see, having the glass roof really makes it open, bright, and airy in here. And the seats are ultra comfortable. I'm really digging this special material because it feels good, but I know it's gonna also wear well on top of that. Visibility, side mirrors are great. I love the way on the side mirrors, you'll notice how the glass goes all the way to the perimeter of the actual side mirror housing. You don't see that very often. There's usually some kind of, you know, space there or gap. Out the back, it's interesting. It's a little tight, but they kind of carve a section out to give you a little bit better rearward visibility. So that's important. And then the gauges are easy to read, easy to understand. Whether you have the maps up, the Google Maps or not, really easy to understand all at a glance. All right, guys, once again from a desktop, here we go on throttle. It really pushes you back in the seat, obviously, and definitely gets you going very quickly. Steering feedback is great, nice and balanced in the chassis, and this is the work that Polestar has done with the motorsports program and everything else. But I'm loving the balance of the car. It's nice and solid, well put together, especially when you compare it to a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. The fit and finish in here is so much nicer. Plus, the really cool thing is you don't see any of these. So it's like you're really driving something that people are like, hey, what is that? And I really like that. I think that's part of the fun of having an electric vehicle, especially right now as things are booming and more companies are joining the party, that there's vehicles that you just don't see and people are like, hey, they're very, very curious. So that's been the really cool thing. It's crazy how those AC vents that I pointed out on top of the dash actually bring air to you, because you think it would just cool the windshield, but it actually directs it very nicely in here. And then, like I said, going through the different modes, shutting off sport mode and adjusting the steering feel and everything is very, very simple. And I like the fact that you can find out real quick what your range is, how much power are you using, and then also the regen braking as well. All right, guys, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a little bit of a bird's eye view of what I'm seeing as we're driving down the road. Like I said, you could see where you could easily make all your adjustments. I do have the steering feel on firm, but you could go to standard 1, 2, 3 like that. And you could also do the one pedal drive, easy on and off, low or high, and you got that creep feature for when you're in traffic. Now, to get back to Google Maps, real easy, fills up the screen nicely, and I could also bring it up on the digital instrumentation cluster there. But even over all these bumps and whatnot, the multi-link rear suspension out back works super well, and they did a great job with communicating feedback to the wheel, which is hard to do a lot of times, especially with an electric steering system. You're gonna lose some of that feedback. But definitely a car that's well thought out and something that's very usable with that lift back activity of the hatch. But on throttle, here we go. Then I can bring up the speed a little bit larger, get out, and then it shows you we're now braking because I got the one pedal braking on and the regen charging is taking place. So real nice to have it that simple. It doesn't need to be ultra complicated, and it's the setup like this that makes you feel like you're used to this, because it feels like the cars that you have been driving for the past few years. Having actual instrumentation, having the separate infotainment system, rather than like on Teslas where everything is in the infotainment system. But hopefully this is giving you a nice overall feel of what the Polestar 2 is all about for 2022. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day with this Polestar 2. I definitely want to thank everybody at Polestar for allowing Raiti's Rides access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. Has Polestar done enough with this Polestar 2 to make it your EV of choice? Or are you gonna go with the Tesla Model 3? Or are you gonna go with one of the other competitors? Dying to know what you think in the comment section, so make sure you put it in there. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you, click the link in the channel in the description. Get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen behind the camera, Lori, working it like a champ. Thank you, Lori, for your hard work and determination. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.